Welcome to Sista's Place Inspiration and Entertainment Show interviews with authors, celebs, and much more with hostesses Latrice Carter and Selena Haskins.
Welcome to the show today. Selena and I are excited about today's show. Why? Today's show is all about indie music showcase artist Shameia Crawford. We have premiered several of her songs on several of our episodes this year, 2020. So today, you get to know her, and at the end of the show, you will enjoy a musical encore presentation for your listening ears. So sit back and get ready for our guest today.
Shameia Crawford is more than just a soul and R&B singer. Her music is deeply rooted in gospel, where she first started singing in church. Her voice is powerful. It touches your heart and it ignites your spirit. She is an indie musical artist with a powerful voice. Welcome to the show, Shameia Crawford.
Thank you.
We are so happy to have you. This is our second time on the show, so I think it's been 2-3 years, Shameia?
Yeah, I think it's been at least 2 years.
Yep, awesome. We were introduced by my good friend and sister, Kay Cardwell. I love her to death. That is my heart. Okay, so let's jump right into our interview. Shameia, do you have some new music coming out?
Yes. Actually, since we've been quarantined, I've gotten in the studio and I've completed, I would say about 2 albums, but I'm just really waiting for the right time to release it. So I'm thinking of maybe the end of August will probably be the best time to release some of the new music I've done.
Okay. Do you have a title for your new music that's coming out?
I don't. So if you have any suggestions, take them.
Okay. Now, I know recently you wrote a song for Breonna Taylor. What inspired you to write that particular song?
Well, of course, the first line is "I got daughters," and I literally watching that story unfold on the news and reading about it on my own. My heart went out, and I felt like her mother. I became a mother to a child who experienced something like that, and the words just came. I literally went into the studio and created the track with my voice, and just making different sounds in the microphone. And my producer came in and added the beat to it, the drums to it, and that's how it came to life. And so I really hope that the message gets across, to the right people, and start making some things happen on her behalf.
Absolutely. And I saw the video on YouTube, and the video that you shared, D.L. Hughley reposted it on his page. I think that was pretty big. How did that make you feel?
I was jumping up and down, literally, because, it's just really about making sure the message gets out to as many people as possible. And because it is music, that's the easiest shared, medium. So I was hoping, and excited that somebody would actually share it, and he did. So that was exciting.
Absolutely, yes.
People that are going to be curious about who you're talking about, so that'll all lead back to the issue of Breonna Taylor. So that was a great idea.
Exactly, yes.
Absolutely. So who are some of your no, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. What is the thought process and inspiration for you when you start writing a song?
I really try to channel, where people are in life. And I like to at least find a way to connect to different issues that people are dealing with, So it's a spiritual thing, really. I just try to get to a still place and quiet the noise around me. And then I pull on that spiritual place to tap into what should I write about? I actually have a song that I wrote for my new project called Worry Don't Worry Me. And I was going through some things. And I mean, you know, it was to the point that I felt like I actually went to the hospital because I was just so stressed out, and they ran all the tests. Nothing was wrong. And so I just decided in my spirit that worry's not going to worry me. Worry is not going to take me out. And so, you know, I just try to come from a personal place, and, you know, stress is a universal thing. So, you know, I feel like when I'm writing that it has to connect to my listener.
Absolutely.
I like the title of that, Worry Don't Worry Me, and how timely that is too now. I mean, the fact that you did a song about Breonna Taylor, but you also did a song, Worry Don't Worry Me, and that speaks volumes to everything that people are dealing with right now.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, because mental health is so big in our community, especially during the pandemic. You know, people are worried about everything, worried about whether or not they're gonna have a job tomorrow, worried about how they're gonna pay their finance, pay their bills. It's just so much, and being isolated is yeah.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough.
It is. It absolutely is. So, who are some of your musical influencers?
I really hate calling names. Of course, gospel is my roots. So anything choir. So of course you got Hezekiah Walker and Mahalia Jackson. You know, very soulful. But few others, Lettucey, Stevie Wonder. Ella Fitzgerald is my fave. Kim Burrell. And I just try to not be biased as much as possible because things evolve. So I listen to different genres as well. So I'm not too close, but I'm kind of just all over just to make sure I'm in tune.
Okay, that's nice. I like all those. Look, I like all those people too.
I know.
Okay, so
but I can see some of those musical influences in you too, though.
Yeah.
Like, some of their voices. I hear a little bit of Lettucey in your work. I've been a fan of hers too, since the beginning. Some of that style I hear in you, but I can also tell that you have a spiritual background even before, I read your bio and information, because you can hear it,
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With everything going on with COVID-19, how are you and your family coping with this virus?
It's rough. I mean, trying to stay vigilant, it's taxing. My husband actually has been exposed with, different coworkers, and he works with for the water department. And so they've been sending those guys home, but I'm just like, oh my God, like it's so real. And so my daughters, I try to keep them active as much as possible, the best way I can, the safest way. Like we go through car washes just to keep them, excited about doing something. You can't go to parks and stuff. And so it's a challenge, but it's a day by day, adaptation, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, I can relate to that too, especially with children. It's hard to keep their minds occupied. I have a young son.
Yes.
So his dad and I bought a basketball court for the driveway. And a little backyard pool. So trying to think of creative ways to keep them occupied and also to help them to cope too, because they don't have that, that social outlet, to play with their friends, because they don't always want to be around their parents. You know what I mean? So, but they don't have a choice right now.
Right, they don't. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, with the police brutality in this country, what goes through your mind, and how do you think we can change with the current broken justice system? I know, you're a Black woman, you're a mother, and you have a husband who is a Black man. So it has to hit home. for you, I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, before I was married to him, there were 3 different instances in North Carolina where he was arrested. He was pulled because he fit a description, and they arrested him. And then they ran their checks or whatever and found that he was not the person they were looking for. But, you know, they just let him go casually. So I can only imagine. I mean, it's disheartening to even believe that that's the measures that they take. And so I feel like right now, the blessing of you know, the coronavirus and the pandemic is the fact that people are actually home. They get to see things that, you know, before I feel like they would have not paid attention to or realized it was a problem. So I think us getting out in the streets and protesting any way that we can. I know for me, because I do have younger children, you know, it's kind of like I can't really go out there, but I have been as much involved as possible with, you know, anytime I see that change.org in my email, I'm signing a petition. I've seen numbers that I've been calling those numbers that they have, you know, for the different local offices. And so, you know, any and everything that I can do that's in my face, you know, I'm trying to be as active as possible. So as long as we don't get tired of it, us as a race, those who are for us, as long as we don't get tired of just making that noise and, you know, knocking those barriers down, I believe that we'll start seeing the change that we are really, really needing.
Absolutely. And we got to vote this year.
Yes,
there's no such thing as holding our vote. We have to be counted this year.
That's right. That's right.
And that's a whole nother topic.
I know.
So are there other artists that you would like to work with, Shameia? I know you said you don't like the name drop, but some of the artists that you mentioned, like Hezekiah Walker and Lettucey, would you ever want to work with them, or have you?
Yeah. Yes, I have not, but I would love to work with Lettucey. Pharrell is a legend. So to me, you know, so I would love to, you know, have some type of collaboration with him. I would love to work with Stevie Wonder at some point. While these people are still living, I'm just like, let me just touch them. Let me get something out there in collaboration world. Jadena, D Smoke, Patti LaBelle, Rhapsody. Those are some other I would be excited about collaborating with.
Oh, that would be awesome. All those artists are some of my favorites too, especially Stevie. I wrote a lot of poetry off Stevie Wonder songs. But and a lot of weddings happen on his music. And Rhapsody is good too. It would be real nice to have her featured on one of your songs.
Yeah, she's a North Carolina girl, so I'm from North Carolina as well. So that would be dope. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I went to Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, so.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I graduated. Went to Salem State, so.
Oh, okay. So, what is the craziest thing that has ever happened to you while you were on tour?
I toured with Angie Stone for a couple of years, and we went to London, and just it's one of those freak accidents. But she used to do a little samba piece to one of her songs at the back end of it to kind of spice it up. And so, you know, I'm feeling it, and I'm doing a twirl. I did it a couple of nights, and that one night just didn't work out too well.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I was limping for at least the rest of the tour. So, you know, we were having to go from different city to city in London, and so we had to take a train like every other day. And so I'm hauling around everything that I needed for those 2 weeks in my big old suitcase and limping at the same time and having to perform. So it was rough.
Oh man, that was rough.
Very rough.
So what would you say are some of the highlights of your career thus far?
Of course, I've had some TV exposure and I've traveled, but I think my passion is giving back. And so before, you know, the pandemic hit, I developed a platform called Sound and Wave, and we initially we're going to have it at venues. But I had to, step back and repurpose it or recalibrate it, if you will, to try to see how we could do it moving forward. And so I decided that we, would just convert our basement into a studio. And so we actually have a space in our home that we set up the lights and everything, and we're recording different artists, spoken word artists, rappers, singers who are, within the same feeling and sound that I have. And that's just something that warms my heart, because I know for me, it's, as an independent, sometimes we get overlooked, and I just want to create a safe place for artists to come and be heard, because these people have messages that need to be heard. We're talking about something.
Exactly.
And so it's important for me to shine a light on those individuals. And of course, it's because it is my platform, I get to perform as well. And, it's just one of my greatest highlights at this point in time in my career.
And that's a good thing that you're doing that, because I know how challenging it could be already as an independent artist, but then to have that kindness in your heart to extend your studio to other artists to express themselves, that's really loving of you, because it's naturally, the industry itself is competitive as it is. And so when you're already independent, trying to, keep some progress going, to lean back and help somebody else, normally that comes later in the average person's career for the most part. You know what I mean? Like signing deals and signing other artists and so forth. But have you ever thought about, and I don't know if you have already, working with perhaps an independent filmmaker, and getting on their soundtrack?
Yes, I've actually I've been in conversation with a guy. I actually stood in for a film that he was doing. So, all of those things we've been working on for the past couple of years, just trying to build our catalog. But we're, trying to build the relationships as much as possible to do that. And honestly, we're kind of going into some of that filmmaking as well on our own, just to put the sound together for ourselves, to be up under whatever it is that we write. So, we're trying to do as much as possible so that our voices are heard and our work is seen.
Well, that makes sense. And speaking of having your voices heard, have you guys tried to do any online performances? I've been seeing a lot of that on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, not necessarily live, but it is on Facebook Live. So we actually pre-record our Sound the Wave show, and then it airs live on Sundays at 8. And so what happens is we can actually communicate with everybody live, although the show is actually pre-recorded. So that's probably the closest. I think it's a little more, I'll say, professional on our end to do it that way. So I kind of prefer it that way. You can kind of control what's happening.
True.
Yeah. So.
Well, the next time you do that, please be sure to tag Latrice and I so we can
absolutely
share it.
I will.
So what are some of your other what are some of your hobbies, I should say, when you're not, doing your music career and writing songs and so forth? What's something else that you enjoy?
I love to bake. I love, I'm a foodie, so any and everything that I can experiment on, I'll try it, if I like it, if I've eaten it somewhere else. But I love to bake. I make a mean sweet potato pie. I might have to holler at Patty LaBelle.
We're going to get some Shameia Crawford pies this coming holiday season.
we might make it happen. So, yeah, I do that a bit. And I actually, when the pandemic started, I enjoy sewing. So I made a couple masks for people. And so that was pretty cool. And I haven't really gotten a chance to do it much since being down with quarantine and stuff. But I love to make home accents by hand. So whether it's a painting or whether it's some artwork or something to go on your shelf, I love to do those type things. Anything with my hands is artsy.
Oh, wow. Renaissance lady.
Okay. Artistic. That's why you are an artist.
Speaking of your artistry, is there any advice that you would give to someone who wants to become a singer and break into the industry?
I think that it's important when a person wants to sing or when they want to write songs that they think about their why. You know, why are you doing it and who is it for? Because music is a universal language, you know, beyond just talking, using your words to talk. You know, music is everywhere. And so I think it's important to always realize that it's a responsibility to write a song, to sing something, because somebody's listening. And,
Right.
you know, you don't necessarily have to write a message song, but to be able to connect with somebody on a level that travels, you want to make sure you're saying something impactful. So definitely know your why and take the responsibility to say something when you're doing your music.
And that's an important message. I think that message could be ubiquitous to other platforms of art too. You know,
Absolutely.
stick it to your voice and your true self.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Now, I also, would you say, and this is an extra bonus question here. Would you say there is more like you're seeing more indie artists come out more now than like maybe 10 years ago? Because I see a lot of indie music now, more than I've seen in the past. Would you say indie artists are competing now with, I guess, mainstream artists on the same level at some point?
I do believe so. Because it's so easy to make music now. You know, you can literally use a microphone, you get you a computer, and you go in your space. You know, you get the software. They have cheaper software now, so it's much easier to create and record yourself. And even putting music out is easy. So, you know, there is definitely a competition. There's a whole big old industry within itself of indie artists. But that's why it's important, you know, to make yourself impactful as an artist so that, you know, you can actually line up with, you know, what's out there in the world. Because there is some good music in the big industry. And so we need to be contributing as much as possible in the right way.
Absolutely.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Shameia, so much for coming on to the show today. For all of our listeners, please let our listeners know where they can listen to your music, purchase your music, and how they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can find me just about any and everywhere at Shameia, SHAMEIA Music, on all social media platforms, and definitely follow the Sound and WAV Wave on Sundays on Facebook at 8 p.m.
Awesome.
Well, don't hit that stop button yet, my listeners out there. I want you guys to stick around for a mini encore of Shameia Crawford's music. And then I want you to jump over to iTunes and purchase her music. So don't talk about it, be about it. Support your independent artists. And Shameia, again, I thank you as well for joining us on the show today.
Thank you all for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Yesterday, we lost an iconic man, Congressman John Lewis. Our hearts and prayers go out to his family and his friends. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until next Saturday, July 24th, we will be talking with indie director Shannon Beyond.
Thank you all for listening to Sisters Place podcast today. Again, my condolences to Congressman John Lewis as well. My office had the opportunity to interview Congressman John Lewis as he shared his thoughts on the Selma project, what happened during the protests of trying to get rights for those who live in Selma. And he will deeply be missed and remembered. He was a very nice gentleman, and my sincere condolences to his family and all of his friends, as well as constituents who loved and supported John Lewis.
Awesome. So where can you listen to our show? You can follow us and listen to us on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, Podchaser, Pod Addict, and of course, Spreaker Radio Network. We are everywhere, be heard and seen. So now, sit back and enjoy our guest, Shameia Crawford's beautiful musical encore. Will be coming up in a few minutes. Once again, thank you, Shameia, for being on the show. We greatly appreciate you, and we look forward to hearing more from you. And make sure you tag us on Sunday so that we can share that with all of our fans and our listening audiences across our social media platforms. You have any closing remarks that you'd like to share, Shameia?
No, I think I did not say where you can find me online beyond social media. So my name is Shameia Crawford, and you can find my music on Spotify and Apple Music, and you can stream it on YouTube as well. Awesome.
Well, thank you again for coming on today's show. Until next week, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and be blessed. And please vote in November. We have to make a change. We have some work ahead of us. Let's not stop. All right? Be blessed. And until next week, we will see you again. Now, sit back and enjoy our guest, Shameia Crawford's music. And make sure you follow her on all social media and purchase her music from iTunes. Once again, here is Shameia Crawford.
Even when they're grown, they can do no wrong. And what I feel for you's no exception. We made a vow to stay, come what may. There's been times I let you down. Sometimes it was both our fault, but you never dared to change. And your passion stayed the same for me, yeah. You're my heartbeat. Oh, I love you. I got this deep love for you, babe. Deep in my soul, my heart goes. At times I just expected you to leave me, 'cause the human in me didn't want to change. We didn't come into this thing squeaky clean, baby, but the nature of our love washes every stain away. There's been times I let you down. Sometimes it was all my fault, but you never dared to change. And your heart stayed the same for me. That show love kind of love, you can't deny what it is. Keeps you going and make you feel so good deep down inside. You are my redemption, 'cause we are not perfect. flowing through my veins. Your love, flowing through my veins. Anybody know about this love? Ooh, oh, yeah. Into my life, I had such a glow. The angels sang a song for you and I. You were careful with my heart because I've been hurt before. Your compassion proved to me I could put my trust in you. Told me to forget my past, that the old carried no weight. They could not compare to what you would bring to cultivate me. Always respect me, never to hurt me or say anything that would push me away. You told me that you would never change your ways. I've never been so high. My heart it beats for you. So with my life I'll show how much I love you. Oh, how I love you. You struck a chord in my soul, and I knew you were the one. There's been counterfeits that made it easy to identify true love. I'm amazed at simple things. You have opened my eyes to see how an embrace can change my day and bring me all so much peace, love. I love you. My heart it beats for you. Oh, so with my life I'll show how much I love you. Oh, how I love you. You show me your heart from the start, checking on me and talking to me every chance you get. You write nice things about me, felt you never leave me, always stood by me, supporting me. I don't always understand all you do, even when I'm frustrated, you know what to do. I just love you, can't get enough of you. I'm so blessed to have you. To have you. It's been tough, but it's over. When I look back down the road, I start crying. 'Cause I made it, I kept going. I built up the strength to keep fighting when I felt alone. No one deserves it more than me. My dream is my reality. Another chapter of my life has started. I made it, I finished, I made it, yes I did it. I made it, I finished, I made it, yes I did it. Oh, myself. It's finally happening. Conquer the highs and all the lows, I'm still standing. I belong because I'm breathing. It matters not where you come from, there's a place for you. No one deserves it more than me. My dream is my reality. Another chapter of my life has started. I made it, I finished, I made it, yes I did it. I made it, I finished, I made it, yes I did it.
Be sure to subscribe to Latrice's YouTube channel, Sista's Place, and follow her on all social media.